What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about Ethereum Classic. I want to go over some of the current data points, what is really moving it, and why it might be on the verge of a second breakout. Before I get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So ETC right now is sitting at $22.25. It is sitting on a very key pivot right now, so I'm going to go over the technicals near the tail end of the video, but volume has dropped. So currently over the last 24 hours, 11.38 million. When it was running up, it was at more so the 18 plus. So definitely volume has dropped, not just with ETC, but across the board. But ETC is starting to lag. And even looking here, so this is all the coins based on market cap. And during my last video, I think it was 28 or 29. Currently now it is 31. So a lot of the peers are starting to really move higher at a faster rate than ETC. Couple different attributing factors to that. And plus you can even see that right here. Even over the last 1 month, ETC was in par with Bitcoin right here. And I was kind of doing a video around that time period, but yeah, regrettably, Bitcoin continued to move higher and ETC went down. So let's talk on that for a second. Why does ETC lag? One reason is shorts. So over the last 24 hours, shorts have started to really increase their position. Why? Anyone's guess. So I think ETC has always had that kind of attribute to it, the fact that it's heavily shorted. That has worked in its favor on occasion, especially with an increase of capital getting into cryptocurrency, more and more attention and good PR. Then you've seen short squeezes in some cases for ETC. So very fun, very exciting, but it does add a lot of suppression. So as of late, they've been really increasing the position. And even during the recent run up, you kind of have longs to blame. So I brought this up in my last video. So you can kind of see just generally this is a liquidation, shows who is actually kind of causing and selling out, right? Whether it be shorts, so the reds, or the longs. So for instance, when it was running up on November the 9th, kind of midway through, there was 745,000 in shorts kind of returning, right? Selling out their position. And there was 1.08 million in longs. So longs, so the individuals who believed in ETC and maybe just swing trade or whatever else, they were the culprits on why there was so much selling, so much suppression. And that is why ETC did start to lag, and why ultimately even up until now, because you can see since then there's been a hell of a lot of longs closing out the position. That's why ETC is starting to get pushed down. Other coins such as Stellar doesn't have that same circumstance. So you're having ETC, like I said, just get dragged down by shorts in the last 24 hours, and kind of extending that a little bit further, you have longs selling. And as I brought up in my last video, if longs did not sell on the 9th, then this is where you could have actually seen a very, very nice squeeze occur with ETC. So it's one of those unfortunate circumstances. I think it's just whenever a stock or a coin fails to really get above kind of points and kind of key technical levels, then people just don't trust that. They start to take profits earlier on, and it's kind of a crappy domino effect. One thing that I do want to bring up though, his number of merchants accepting ETC as a form of payment did increase 12 so far in November. So that is relatively positive. So currently sitting at 1,187. And one thing that I do want to bring up, especially with the broader market's optimism, both in the crypto and also the equity sector, you kind of have this lingering. So the data is going to be coming out today on a weekly basis, but we'll find out whether there is starting to be that rotation. So I've kind of alluded to this in the past, similar to what happened between 2020 and 2021. A lot of big money left money markets to flee higher opportunities, and one of which was crypto. So this is why you had during that time frame ETC and many other coins running up to the moon. So this could be coming, especially with the market optimism and everything, could be coming to a theater near you, if that kind of makes sense. So yeah, definitely something to just be aware of. Aside from that though, on a technical level, so I do have the 50, 100, 200-day moving averages, Bollinger Band, stochastic RSI, and momentum. So as of right now, momentum shows during this run up, retail was getting in. So generally a pretty good thing. You do have right here is sitting on this 200-day moving average, which is currently $22.12. So as I mentioned, that is a key pivot for ETC. And even aside from these moving averages, there's a couple of other fib levels. So I'll go back to the technicals in a second, but right now with that 22.27, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 24.11 is going to be the next strong target / resistance, followed by 25.74, 28.36. Next strong supports are going to be 21.49, 18.87, 17.24. So just kind of take note of that. That's going to be over and above technically all these points I'm going to talk on. So if essentially it does break below this 200-day moving average, this is where you could see it somewhat in free fall and potentially touching this 21. So this pivot point, 21.49. So that wouldn't necessarily be the best, but I think that's what shorts' bigger plan are right now, to try and suppress it on a technical level. I'm looking at the 1-day chart as well. On a side note, 4 hour feeds into the 1 day and 1 hour into the 4 hour, and so forth and so forth. So looking at the 4 hour, this is where you are actually seeing that kind of breakdown right now. So as of right now, you want to watch for this kind of point. So it is in the lower percentile. You want to watch for it to kind of bounce off that 50-day moving average. So conveniently around that pivot point. So it is just in consolidation. You really want it to kind of stay higher. So it is wanting to move higher, just this kind of level of resistance. So that central boiling band is somewhat keeping it under wraps. Like I mentioned, shorts really just doing what they do best is really affecting it quite a lot. So yeah, it's a very unfortunate circumstance. So the technicals are still looking somewhat cautiously optimistic, and if shorts can just F off for the most part, then it can easily just move up higher. You just also need at the same time just longs to truly believe in ETC and that it is going to do a lot of good things. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on ETC. What is your price prediction in the short term? I do feel that it is going to get to roughly around that $25 range and kind of just sit there and consolidate. So I do feel like there is still a lot more room. You're not going to see another crazy swing that did recently happen. So it's just going to be short and staggered in my opinion, but I think $25 is fair for it to kind of linger around. And then dependent on data, rate cuts, and whatever else, because rate cuts as well will really stimulate consumers' buying power and might also kind of pre-start this rotation to happen as well. So let me know your thoughts. Are you a believer? I haven't done anything with my position, still have a 44 average. I've had that for several years now. Didn't buy, didn't average down, because when I got in, I figured I just wanted to kind of let it ride. At the time, Donald was stating that it was like, what was it, 133,000 as far as a prediction. That's definitely gone out the window quite considerably. Actually, maybe that's something to double check, see what his recent price prediction is. But yeah, I think ETC, if you didn't have shorts, maybe it'd be closer to his price prediction and come to fruition or something like that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with all that, appreciate all of you watching.